Governor Kristi Noem told the nation Wednesday night that President Donald Trump is fighting for the United States' liberty, security and constitution against Democrats and their radical supporters in cities overrun by violent mobs. In a defining moment of her political career, Noem capped off months of rising national interest when she addressed the virtual Republican National Convention from Washington, D.C. She has been hailed by Republicans as the governor who stood for freedom and personal responsibility rather than stay-at-home orders and mask mandates during the COVID-19 pandemic, but her speech Wednesday came after days of record-setting high numbers of COVID-19 cases were reported in South Dakota. The speech, which ran just over 5 minutes, gave no mention of the coronavirus pandemic. Instead, Noem turned her focus to the Founding Fathers. More, Transcript, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem's RNC speech James Madison and Abraham Lincoln were the heroes needed for their times, Noem said, but Trump is fighting for another hero, the common American. She went on to say Republicans respect individuals based on who they are, not their skin color, beliefs or roots. In just 4 years, President Trump has lifted people of all races and backgrounds out of poverty. He shrunk government and put money back into the pockets of hardworking, ordinary Americans, Noem said. Trump has also advanced religious liberty and protected the Second Amendment and has been more successful at all these feats than anyone in the last 50 years, Noem said. However, the Republicans' convention to nominate Trump for a second term comes after months of criticism that Trump hasn't taken the COVID-19 pandemic seriously and has used federal officers to respond to peaceful protests against police brutality. Noem has been a strong supporter of Trump during his presidency, and linking herself to his platform through her words and actions has provided opportunities to raise her national profile, including during Trump's speech at Mount Rushmore in July. This year's convention is the second one Noem has attended. I went out to Cleveland for a day in 2016, but I still haven't really experienced a convention before, so to be speaking is quite the honor, Noem said on Wednesday. She continued her platform of freedom as she spoke to the nation about the value Trump places on the United States' founding principles of equality, freedom and opportunity. Although she never mentioned Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden by name, she made it clear that he isn't guided by those principles and has built nothing. Her speech offered a dark picture of the country, reflecting the image portrayed throughout the convention of Trump saving the United States from an attack coming from within the country. Democrat-run cities across this country are being overrun by violent mobs. The violence is rampant, Noem said. There's looting, chaos, destruction and murder.